Alright. Oh, that is not good.
What is up, everybody? In today's video, we are gonna get my new to me 1991 BMW 318i roadworthy. All that in today's episode. My name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So, in case you guys missed the last episode, I picked up this 318i. It's a 4-door sedan with the legendary M42 and a 5-speed manual. If you guys also missed, this car hasn't been registered since 2008, so it has been 16 years since this thing has been roadworthy. For me to get this car running, it needed a fuel pump, a fuel filter, and a new ignition switch. And so I put all of those three things in, and it is running and driving, but not really very well. In the last video, I found a massive split in the bottom of this intake boot, and you can see that it's already just cracking and breaking everywhere. Second thing that we have to do is change out the spark plugs, and the third thing, we have to dump as much fuel out of this car as possible rather than running through it in the engine. The gas is definitely old, and you can smell that, and so I want to get as much of that out as possible. After the last video, I went ahead and got the car new tires. These are just like a $40 replacement. So I got really cheap tires on it, but again, on the original 14-inch rims, they are actually steelies underneath. So this thing is as base model as it gets. But it was just a regular tire pull and throw back on, so I figured that didn't need to go into the video, but it should have been addressed because these things were really bad, and so it's nice to have brand new tires on there. So the last thing that we have to do is give this full interior a big detail, and that is for two reasons: possible mold, as well as I found mouse droppings inside the glove box, which means that there has been mice in the interior, and I really don't want to deal with that, so we have to go over the entire car. It's not safe to breathe any of that in, so I actually ordered a mask that is getting in today, so we are gonna do the interior later. So now we just need to focus on getting this car running correctly. Oops. Don't know, can you guys spot a problem? Yeah, we could have got some life out of this. Maybe we'll just throw some Honda Bond back on it and slap it back in. Because this thing was $75 from BMW, that's wild. So on my red E30, it also had the M42 in it, and I didn't work on the car much before I actually pulled it, but what's super interesting is that this car has two throttle bodies, and I think the top one might be the idle control valve, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys know. We also need to transfer over this little cap on the old one. But you can see just how bad the this thing is. It ripped everywhere. Also, don't worry, I'm working on a video currently on the K-swapped E30, and we are getting a lot of good progress on this thing, so we will be dropping a video very soon. So for those wondering, I also got the new ignition switch in, so I put that back in the E30 and she got the new part. Okay, now the intake boot is on, so we will throw new spark plugs in there. But first, we need to clean up all down here. You can see just rat droppings everywhere, and this is just gross. And now we are able to move the car, you know, into the garage where we have a vacuum. Okay, that's better. Next, we'll do kind of like a wipe down after the spark plugs, because this engine looks like it has seen some wear. And like I showed in the last video, all of these spark plugs were wet, so we're gonna keep an eye on that with the new spark plugs. But there's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. With the new plugs, I went with NGK Iridiums, and it's just a single plug, and obviously I'm gonna make sure to test the gap, but we're gonna toss these in. Then we are going to give one single Ugga Dugga. Something perfect, all the spark plugs are done. Now we just need to give this thing a birthday. Okay, that's a bit better. And then with this thing, this plastic piece, we are also going to give this a birthday. Boom, just like that. This thing is clean and looking much better. We can just easily pop this guy in. Awesome, and then we will keep going with this. Okay, last one. We just need to clean this thing up. Now since everything else is looking a little bit cruddy, I'm gonna try to clean up as much of this as I can. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that's as much wiping down as I wanted to do in the engine bay. And it's looking already so much better. Now we have to work on the monstrosity that is the interior. I don't think this stuff has been touched in years. I mean, this dash is extremely cracked. But I want to pull out the seats and vacuum underneath and vacuum all of this stuff. So let's do that. Also forgot to tell you that I had the spare exhaust, and I went ahead and got a couple pipes from Advanced Auto Parts, and now it has a full exhaust pack on there. Okay, so we have good protective gear on. Now we are going to enter in the car. And I know this seems ridiculous, but it's not. Okay, so the carpet isn't the worst that I've seen, but it still has a gnarly smell and it looks really gross. And I think that since it has a bunch of rat droppings, we have no idea what we can't see. And we know what we can see, and it's still gross. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off all the carpet since it's that easy. And we are gonna bring the carpet separately to a car wash and just hose the thing down with a nice power washer. And I think that that's going to be definitely worth it, especially because it'll take 2 hours, all things considered, and it'll feel like a brand new carpet. I really wanted to go through the actual glove box, so we're going to throw back on the mask and get in there. No way! Woo! We'll be listening to this. God, these things are sick. Nice. Wow. There's another one. These things are super nice too. This one is a needle nose. Nice. Trash. 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 Ooh. Trash. 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 Okay, this is actually really cool. It's the original owner's manual to the E30. So this we will obviously definitely save because that's super cool. Nice. Everything in there was pretty trash. It was all just like a couple maintenance records. But what's really interesting about the maintenance records is that they all end at like 2007. So I know at one point this car was actually auctioned, and I don't know when that was, but it looked like 2 previous owners ago. And so what I am thinking is that somebody was owning this car, had it up to date, and then either passed away or lost the car somehow, and then it went to vehicle auction, and that kind of stuff takes a while. So I think that the car has been roughly sitting since 2008, and hasn't really passed by too many owners since then. It seems like the person enjoyed the car and kept up with it. There was a lot of maintenance records within 2 to 3 years, and they all had the same owner's name on them. So I'm glad that we're able to kind of bring this car back to life. and hopefully get it running. So, and by running I mean running well, cleaned up, get all the grossness out of it, and get this thing roadworthy again. Now we are getting into some vacuuming time. Okay, now everything is kind of smelling a lot better in here. We're still working on the interior, but I want to start taking apart some of the center console so that we can get the carpet out.
My favorite is how easy this piece comes out. Pop this up. Use a 10mm. Perfect. And once that's off, we pull off this entire piece. Come on. Ugh. And we can pull off this entire piece. We'll put this back on so that we don't lose it. Awesome. Now we need to pull this part off. Oh. Alright, this piece. Cool. And pull this out, and I can access underneath here, right there, and get this part. I believe that everything is off of this, so we should just be able to kind of pull this thing out. Okay. And that should be everything. Oh, I'm hitting this bracket. Perfect. Not bad. So I know this sounds ridiculous, but I mean, if you just wash this part of the carpet, you still have all of this stuff that's not getting cleaned. And that's just, think about what kind of smells are hanging out in there and lingering. So I did the same job on my red E30. If you guys are OG fans, you guys have seen that. But we're gonna just do this, and we'll have to cut a small portion of it out on that little side, but other than that, this entire carpet pulls up, and it's actually a pretty small piece. The weather is actually looking a little doomy, so we are gonna do a little bit of this off camera, and next shot we will be pulling out the carpet. Well, this is what I was worried about. That's where the mouse was hiding, so we'll kind of proceed with caution and keep going. Yeah, I also found some not good things underneath the carpet, so we'll kind of get that when we get that. So I'm still working on getting the carpet out, but we should be close.
Okay, so now I'm starting to see the actual like layout. So this was the main bedroom. The glove box was the main bathroom, and then there was actually a second bed and bath in the engine bay. My God, this thing! Oh my God. I haven't seen any sight of any critters, so obviously, yeah. Hopefully this is the worst of it. I'm in the process of just getting this thing folded out. This side is wet. There's obviously mold there, so I don't know if this thing is salvageable, but let's get it all the way out.
Gross. Okay, let's take a look in here. Okay, there's definitely a lot of water. That side looks good, and luckily there doesn't seem to be a lot of rust. The guy that put it back together didn't put the seal in correctly, so anytime it rained, which in Austin rains a good amount, the water was just getting soaked on the carpet. And you can see that all the sound deadening actually came out with ease, which normally you have to freeze dry it off. So that's how wet under the panel is. I'm actually really surprised and happy that this thing isn't more rusted. That doesn't quite look too rotty yet, so we can probably clean that up and respray it, and hopefully save that. But I'm really happy to see that there wasn't too much else hiding underneath here, besides the just like wet carpet. But you know, all that's fixable. In terms of the driver's side looks really good. There's no rust, and there's a little bit of like just dirt and debris and stuff, but overall it looks really good on that side, on this side. Not so much on that side. I wanted to show you the car is actually idling better. I haven't started it since we got the new intake boot on, but let's see how this thing is running. Oh. Make sure it's not in gear. So you can hear how quiet the car is actually running, and it's actually running really good. Currently there's still a blown fuse that's making the RPMs not work, so we're gonna have to track that down. But the car is running really well. It's very quiet, and the RPM sounds good. And it just is idling really, really well. Okay, yesterday my camera died while filming, so we brought the carpet to the car wash, and we were able to clean it up, and it actually looks a lot better. It's still in the process of drying right now, and you can see that it like looks better. I'm gonna look for a kit just to fully replace this and see if we can get a semi-decent replacement that will be, you know, good enough. Now, don't get me wrong, we do need to still do a lot to get this car in a good shape, but so far it's actually been going really smoothly. There are those two rust patches that we need to fix and actually clean down on the passenger side floorboard, but overall that's really most of the rust on the car. Other than that, the car is actually really clean, especially for being not running for so long. So one of the brake calipers is actually still is kind of locked up, So that's one of the issues that I'm actually having while driving. But overall, the car revs up well, shifts into second and all the gears, and actually drives pretty well, all things considered. We still need a lot to actually get this thing like fully roadworthy, but I think that it's coming along really well. I think fresh gas in this thing is gonna absolutely do it wonders. I think we should still keep going with just kind of fully restoring this thing and getting this thing up and running in a good condition, fixing the rust, fixing the carpet, and you know, get it to a good, solid stock condition. For now, we are going to let this carpet dry out in the sun for a couple hours and see how well it actually turns out, but I will obviously be looking for a new carpet replacement. That is going to end it for today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.